Hey everybody, Pete with Upstate Nation Baseball, helping to promote baseball in upstate New York by covering and sharing interesting stories. You can follow me on YouTube and X at Upstate Nation NY, the Facebook page Upstate Nation Baseball, and on the Apple and Spotify podcast networks where I'm posting the audio files of these episodes, Upstate Nation Baseball podcast. So please like, follow, subscribe. I appreciate it. I have a lot of great content coming your way now that we are in baseball season. Welcome to episode number 6. I caught up with Mohawk Valley Community College head coach Dave Warren, and we spoke about the Hawks season so far, and also shared stories of his 24 seasons leading the MV baseball program. He also shared stories of his early days playing through high school and college from upstate New York, and also spoke about former pro wrestlers and Bigfoot. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. All right. Head coach Dave Warren of Mohawk Valley Community College. Thank you, coach, for joining me, Upstate Nation Baseball.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, MVCC, a great tradition of baseball at over on the Parkway. The Hawks season so far this year, what has stood out? What have you liked? What are some challenges and some, areas from improvement? I think the record's 3-8. Is that
Yeah.
accurate? Yeah. So 17 more games left. So you're not even to the halfway point. But yeah, how are things going?
Well, really, it's probably the most challenging year I've ever had. We lost kind of a perfect storm of we had like the COVID era guy, and so I lost maybe 5 or 6 guys that were in that classification last year, and then my traditional second year guy. So kind of a perfect storm. So our lineup right now really has one sophomore, and in junior college, those sophomores are your seniors. They're so important to have. So we're running out there with 8 freshmen, a bunch of freshman pitchers. We've had to contend with some terrible weather. We've practiced on our field twice this year. We go inside and then we come outside to play a game, and then we're back inside for a week. So, and then you throw in the fact that we got a lot of freshmen there. So being a dad kind of helps with with
Yeah.
patience
Right.
with it,
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's been a challenge so far.
Yeah. So a couple of players I saw, Kevin Delvecchio, shortstop, Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. And I want to ask you
Yeah,
about that, about
yeah,
the Canadian. And then, yeah, 14 hits and 30 at bats. So that's
yeah.
just awesome. And then, yeah, local guy, Austin Stokert. Am I pronouncing
Yes.
that right?
Yeah, Austin Stoker. Yep.
Yeah, right-handed pitcher, 2-1,
Hmm.
24 innings pitched and an ERA of 3. So,
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some good signs there. I mean, Kevin is one of the players I'm really most proud of. His freshman year, he hit into a lot of bad luck, and he was a different player last year. He didn't handle the failures well of the game, and you have to. It's one of those games that you fail a lot, and he had a tough time with that. But to his credit, he worked really, really hard in the off season, and not just physically, but mentally. His approach, and now he's thrust into this situation where he's basically the only sophomore out there, so he has to lead by example, and he's done a tremendous job, not just in his play, but in his attitude and how he works with our first time 18-year-old players that are out there. So, and Stoker, I coached him in travel ball when he was younger. I think we had a couple of years. I have a 13U team locally, and he played, with my son and my assistant coach's son. So I knew Stoker pretty well. He's been a pleasant surprise. He's a fierce competitor, not a big kid, but boy, he's got the competitive spirit, and he throws a real good curveball, and he throws strikes. He throws a lot of strikes. He spots the ball really well, and he's extremely smart. Very intelligent player. Engineering major. So
okay.
he's already
Yeah.
got the smarts up there. So yeah, two real good ball players for us.
Yeah, yeah, and I was gonna say, so yeah, Whites were obviously local, and I saw, traditionally you do get some New York City kids and
Yeah.
downstate kids, but Canadians, that kind of stood out. Is that
Yeah.
how often do you get the a
We've
Canadian?
had it started, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago. A guy in Canada came out to visit. They visited another college and they didn't, and they scheduled us with the idea they were just going to come see us, because we were there. But I guess, I treat everybody like, I'm talking to my own family. I treat people the right way. And I guess they kind of felt put off at the one school and like they really didn't weren't wanted there. And then we kind of, we took a lot of time. It was a Saturday morning. I went in on Saturday morning and it kind of developed a little bit of a relationship there. And then I've had several Canadian, usually, some years I might have a couple, other years I might have like 4 or 5. But we've seemed to have a good representation. One of my former players, he's sending us 3 Canadian student athletes next year. So we have
Great.
a nice little and they have been outstanding for me, just from a practice standpoint, just working hard and being there every day. And Kevin's definitely, in that mold too. So it's
Yeah.
been a good deal.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good pipeline. Yeah, not far away. I mean, just down the
Right.
road too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. So, you're 24, leading the program, right? So,
Old man in the
how
sea now.
you and me both, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so how has your coaching changed, if it has, or adapted, I guess would be a better
Yeah.
word, over those years? I mean, obviously that is a long time of coaching
Yeah.
young people, and you have all the technology changes. The game is mostly the same,
Yeah.
but you got the technology, and the kids are different, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of my belief, you stick to your beliefs and what things that I were, I'm not reinventing the wheel with a lot of things. Certainly I've had come up with my own types of things that I do and my own wrinkle on things, but I kind of stick to what I've always taught with the players, but more so adapted to, just I think being a better coach with the mental side of things, going through the whole COVID year, and we played that year. We actually had a season and we did well, and
Yeah.
you know, throwing batting practice with masks on and things like that. But I haven't. I mean, I've adapted a lot. I listen to my players, and but I stick to a lot of the same, you know, uh, I guess strategies and from a game standpoint, a lot of the same things that I was taught. I had some really good coaches that I worked with, and I talk with a lot of coaches. Like any coach will tell you, you steal from everybody. You steal from everybody, and then you have your own personality in it. But I think probably the biggest change for me has been I have a lot more patience now. It's not when I first started when I was younger. It's like win, 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 and that's all you thought about. It's still very important. It's kind of who I am. Winning is really important, but you'll lose a lot in junior college baseball up here in the Northeast, and especially with us, trying to get as many players as we can from different places and things. It's become more about just providing a great experience for the players, um, being there for them through all the challenges that they face, whether it's in school or it's on the field. But I think having a lot more patience and focusing a lot more on player development and the mental approach to the game more than anything else, because for me as a player, that was my downfall. I did not deal with the failures well. But in going through my experiences in my younger playing days, I think has really helped me to help these guys deal with all the failures that they get.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see that now too in the game. It's that I followed a whole bunch of people on Instagram, and one, he was a player, Brandon Geyer. I don't know if you remember him. He played,
Yeah.
yeah, he played, he had some success, yeah, a lot of success. He played in the big leagues, but
Yeah.
for the Indians was where he really made his name. And yeah, so he retired, and he
Mm,
has he's running a mental health, or not a mental health,
mm,
a mental performance
yeah.
uh type of
So important.
consultancy. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really good. And he goes
Yeah.
back on his career, and just mental approach of a big at bat and the breathing and what you're doing. And he relates it back to his high school days where he was, I think his junior year, he said he was terrible. And he's like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And it's like, and then senior year, and he went to
Right.
Virginia and then had a big league career. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Um, yeah. So you mentioned some of your assistant coaches along the way. So Mohawk, New York native. What are
Yeah.
some of your early memories? And I ask everybody that I have on this,
Yeah.
trying to, it's upstate New York
Yeah.
baseball, so upstate nation. Now, Little League through junior high, through high school, and even through college, what influential coaches that you had,
Yeah.
family members, teammates, or even, in your early coaching days with assistant coaches, what helped you become, the coach that you are today?
Yeah, I had a lot of them. The baseball memories are just some of the best memories of your life. And I had some challenges. We had some things in my family when I was a kid that kind of gave some challenges to me. And I had a coach named Bill Culver. Um, and Bill, oh boy, one of the best coaches that I ever had. I learned a lot from him. That was back in the day when it wasn't everybody's dad coaching. They didn't have a horse in the race, so to speak. Bill, he didn't have a kid on the team. He was just a great baseball coach. I learned a lot from him. And even like in Pop Warner football, Jim Tuddy was one of my coaches in Pop Warner football, and our little league field in town is named after him. A huge influence on me growing up. And I think those guys really spurred me on to want to be a coach someday. I think I knew when I was really young, that's what I wanted to do. But then, in high school, I had uh, Tim Forbes, who passed away, some years ago. But the one thing I took from Tim was that the game's supposed to be fun. He made the game fun. Um, you know, our practices were never serious. Which is not how I'm a little too serious sometimes in practice, but but I like try to have fun. We had fun. He made the game fun. We were kids and he made the game fun. I took a lot from him. Um, Joe Milazzo, without a doubt, best coach I ever had. A lot of the stuff that I pass on to my players is, again, not reinventing the wheel, is stuff that Joe gave to us. And my experiences at Herkimer playing for him, best decision I made was to go play for Joe. And then I had a year, 1 year I played at Cortland for a year, and then some family situations prevented me from playing my final year, which I always tell our kids that the game can be taken away from you at any point in time, and that you need to, enjoy every single moment, whether it's, running the bases, taking batting practice, sprints, whatever it is, enjoy it. But I got to play for Steve Owens for a year, and it was his first year of coaching.
Okay.
And
All
he's
right.
gone on to, I
To,
was part of his first win,
oh, wow.
which is
Wow.
kind of cool. And he's won
Yeah.
like over 1,000 games, and I was part of number one. So,
Nice.
I took a lot from him. He brought the intensity to things. Milazzo really, you felt genuinely bad if we lost, because you wanted to win, not just for the team, but you wanted to win for him. And Owens is the same way. I mean, you felt like you let the whole world down if you lost. I mean, just because you see they love the game, and when you got a coach that loves the game, it's pretty obvious. And I think the players play harder for him. But I mean, it's just, I had a game at Herkimer where we went to the regionals. The first time they had gone to the regionals in years and years and years. And we made it to the Final Four that year, and we had a legitimate chance to win the region that year. We came out of nowhere. We were a lot of local guys on that team. That team featured, we had Mohawk, Little Falls, Herkimer, Oneida, VVS. We were a locally
Yeah.
dominated team, and we went to the regional Final Four when it was just JUCO. There was no divisions.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and we had a big upset along the way, so that one game always stuck out. But those are some of the coaches that had, kind of their influence with me.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. Milazzo and Owens. Yeah. Both still coaching, still
Yeah,
doing it, right?
I know. When I see Owens at Rutgers, and he still looks looks a lot like he did when he. And that was one thing I always thought. You want to try to make sure you stay in good shape here. When you
Yeah.
get older, that gets a little harder. I can't throw batting practice back to back days much
Yeah.
anymore. We'll still do it.
So, yeah, many of your players went on to 4-year schools and had success, and a few have made it to the pros. And specifically, I used to live in Northern Virginia, so I'm
Yeah,
from New Hartford, but I lived down
yeah,
there right when the Nationals. And I didn't plan this either. I was just going through some stuff, and I saved
yeah.
some of the Washington Post. So this is
Oh,
when the Nationals moved back
that's
to, or the
yeah.
Expos moved to
Move
the
to
Nationals,
Washington.
moved to
That's so cool.
Washington. So Patrick Corbin, another fairly
Yeah,
local guy, North Syracuse. You
yeah.
coached him. How was coaching him? Yeah, two
Uh,
year All-Star in the major leagues, and now a left-handed starting pitcher for the Washington National, second round pick in the
yeah,
draft back in I think it was '09.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
coaching him. How was that experience?
That was awesome because we were the only school that recruited him for two sports. He was a basketball junkie, and that's what he wanted to do. When I first met with Patrick, he told me he wanted to play for Syracuse and Jim Boeheim. That
Okay.
was his goal. He wanted to play for Syracuse University. And he loved basketball. So I got our basketball coach involved. I said, you got to try to recruit this because he's a really good pitcher. He's kind of
Yeah,
flying on the radar. He joined baseball late. It was a
yeah.
junior when he started. Except from Little League. He hadn't played after Little League until a
Wow.
junior year. So nobody knew about him. So luckily for me, right place, right time. He would come into practice in his basketball tank top and his shorts, and he'd throw a bullpen. And then I'd say, get out of here. You got to get to the dining hall before they close. So
Yeah. Oh,
go
wow.
in, throw his bullpen, and then run to the dining hall. And he ended up going to Chipola Junior College, Division I in Florida. And that was when we were really in our kind of our heyday then. We had some really good teams, and we were a Final Four team the year without Patrick, because Patrick, he messaged me and he's like, Coach, Chipola's offered me a full ride. What should I do? And it was late summer. I knew we were gonna have a good team the next year, and he was the big piece. I said, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. And I said, just light up that radar gun when you're down there and
Yeah.
everything. And he was really, we made the Final Four that year that he was in Chipola, and that was the piece we were missing for the World Series, I think, that year. But
Uh,
at the end of the day, look at how it turned out for
yeah,
him. Just
right.
a wonderful story for any kid. That's you never know how things will work out. And yeah, and he's still, every once in a while message back and forth with him and try to watch him when he pitches and everything. Great family, great kid, but it was a
Yeah,
pretty cool experience.
really cool story. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, basketball guy. So I saw him, this was a handful of years ago at a Syracuse game, and I
Yeah.
went down at halftime. Yeah, he was gracious. I had my
Yeah.
son with me.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so we met him. Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, he gave us an opportunity. We got to go, or my family to go to City Field a couple times, and he got us
Yeah.
on the field for batting
Oh,
practice.
awesome.
And the one time I brought him his actual jersey he wore with us, gave him that when we were down there. But it was great. We were up close with all the players watching batting practice and stuff, things like that I would have never been able to do had I not cross paths with him and been able to coach him for the year,
Yeah.
So, and we've still kind of stayed in touch over the years as well, which is really, really nice. I mean, he just won. I mean, there's so many guys that we've had that have gone on to do like better things. There's so many guys that played for us that are coaches now and teachers and, just like, investigators and state troopers. I mean, we're more like, for us, I feel like, you could take wins and losses. To me, like, the wins are what they all do after. And we have some extremely successful people, which is what I'm like
Yeah.
really proud of. A lot of them have, and we had one of our former pitchers had, twins with his wife just a few months back. And,
Yeah.
you look at things like that and
So you
wow.
got to stay on now. You got to go
I
another, what is it,
I
be
don't know.
18 years more,
I don't know.
right? And
Coaching,
you get them.
I don't know. Coaching junior college baseball for 24 is probably like coaching anything else for like 60. Seriously.
Oh, funny. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
life lessons, right? I mean, we all
Yes.
want to go pro, but
Right.
obviously the probability is not there. And yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
good to see. It's the life lessons that you
Yeah,
teach that
for
helps
sure.
them become successful. All right, so surprise last question
Yeah.
here. I started with food and a couple of my
Yeah.
guests. I'm like, you know what? But let's go. How about something about Coach Dave Warren outside of baseball? So how do you recharge the batteries? Is there what do you
Yeah.
from the school as well? So when you're home, is there like a
Yeah.
vacation spot, or is there you just like to read a book somewhere? What do you
No,
get
I'm
away
definitely
when
not a
you
book reader, that's for sure. I have, I think there's a couple things like my kids always make fun of me about certain things, but probably like for me, I love my dog, we love to get outside and things like that. So I'm kind of out in the country outside of my hometown, so it's kind of nice here as well. So it's almost like you're camping but you're not,
Yeah.
so it's just nice. Well, a little section of woods and things, but I do enjoy, oh man, I'm gonna get made fun of by all my players that watch this like so badly. But we talk about like we ask our players sometimes, what's one thing we don't know about you that we
Yeah.
should, that would be kind of a funny thing. But I do, for whatever reason, I really enjoy if you're just sitting around the house, enjoy like documentaries on either ex-professional wrestlers and what
Okay.
happened with them, like the Dark Side of the Ring,
Yeah.
that show.
Okay.
And please don't laugh, but I do enjoy
That's
I do enjoy watching shows on Bigfoot and Sasquatch and all those
okay.
legends and mysteries and stuff. It kind
Okay.
of just takes you like just gets you away from all the other stuff. So I love being outside with the dog and kids, and I like my documentaries. So
Good. So do you
kind of
have like
corny, isn't it?
that's
Well,
okay. That's
I
all
do
right.
enjoy weightlifting. Weightlifting for me has been a lifelong thing. I try to get in the gym at least, 3 or 4 days a week, and I like to kid around that I'm gonna be that like I want to be that 80-year-old guy that breaks some records or
Yeah.
something, and not maintain a good level of fitness without hurting myself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. So are you one of those guys that has like the black cutout of Sasquatch like in the woods there in the house? So you drive by and you take a double take, like,
But
oh
yeah,
no, it's not. It's
believe it or
not
not,
real.
I asked for that for Father's Day a couple of years ago. I haven't gotten one yet. I'm still waiting on it. I got the perfect
Uh,
spot picked out for
yeah,
it,
right,
but
right.
everybody will do a
That's
double
good.
take going by.
Yeah. No, and I caught the Ric Flair one a
Oh
couple years
yes,
back
one of
there.
my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was
that was
interesting. I mean,
good.
no, that was really interesting. Just the
Yeah,
live the life that they lead there just it's crazy,
it's
right?
just the one show, the Dark Side of the Ring. I think always it always seems it's all tragedy all the time. All the
Yeah,
you see this persona, but who's the real person? And the real
right.
person a lot of times is a complete car wreck and
Yeah,
just the decisions they make and then just, and things like that. It just, you know, it's just an interesting type of thing to me because you just, the perception of the person and what the person really was and all the stuff they had to go through or whatever. Some of them went through a lot of bad things in
yeah,
life,
yeah.
and trying to deal with it. So I just found that show kind of checks me out a little bit. And, my Bigfoot shows check me out. I'm always checking my trail camera to see if just by chance something would die. Yeah, I'm going to get
Funny.
made fun of for months and years because of this. Just
That's okay. Just let us know. I'm sure you will if something does pop up on that trail cam. Like maybe that was it. Did you see that? Did you
yeah,
see
I'm going to
that looked
send you
like
the
it could
picture.
have been
Yes.
it. Very cool. All right, coach. Well,
All
continued
right.
success to you. Good luck the
Thank
rest
you.
of the way here. Love to catch up down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.